Several days later, Makoto finished making arrangements for Crow's documentation. After we'd submitted it to the school, the day finally came when she could accompany us there. But first things first.
Hi! Good morning, ご主人様!
Wait, what? Suddenly hearing an unfamiliar voice, combined with the sensation of the sheets being pulled off me, I sprang wide awake. Standing before me was a maid I didn't recognize. As if. Hi, Dee. Even while my brain was still groggy from sleepiness, I figured out what was happening right away. Welcome back! Feels like I haven't seen you in such a long time. The healing power of her pastoral smile hadn't changed a bit, but a thought occurred to me. Once again, no one had told me exactly what day Dee would be arriving in Japan. She should have set up the same situation on purpose, didn't she? Well, anyway, do you understand what happened to me, you, and all the others? I tried to pat down my morning bedhead as I asked her that. Well, that saves me from having to explain it too much. Yeah. But I'm not sure exactly who has the roughest. I lightly alluded to it. Dee definitely had the largest burden out of everyone to bear, and knowing that I wouldn't be able to accept his feelings made me feel pretty gloomy. How has your health been? Glad to hear it. Even if her smile seemed a bit forced, I was relieved to see her as energetic as ever. Dee, you're jealous of me or something, are you? Good to know I have a weeaboo living under my roof again. Well, I won't hesitate to take decisive action when the time comes. But I'm still as laid back as ever, so you just have to live with it. Aren't you just romanticizing that? A different voice interrupted the conversation with Dee. I suppose Crow wanted to know what all the commotion here was about. Morning, Crow. All dressed up and ready to go, I see. Glimpsing the human version of Crow for the first time, Dee gave a shout of surprise. Didn't you hear that Crow became a human? Dee cocked her head to the side curiously. You think so too? That's quite an insult. Exactly. Dee raised her voice without warning. Dee was as cheery as ever, even with being retorted out. This isn't so bad. I was sitting on the bed because I was still sleepy, but I couldn't help but smile. Just as life had started to feel stagnant, Dee's arrival felt like a hugely refreshing gush of wind. A wind with the aroma of apples. I really did make a religion of not taking life too seriously. Then, if you guys don't keep it down, you'll summon the Demon King. They both froze in place, but it was already too late.
あら、魔王だなんて世界が大変ですね。
Machiro appeared out of nowhere. Sup, my goddess? Looking quite lovely this morning.
兄様をお許しします。ご主人様の代わりにいくらなんでも早すぎます。そうじゃ、そもそも我が輩もデイディもミチルのことは何も言っておらぬぞ。朝から兄様の部屋に上がり込んでいるだけで罪です。それに口にせずともお二人の無駄に動揺した態度で私への評価が十二分に伝わるというものです。
I don't care what you do to either of them, but just get them out of my sight.
かしこまりました。
Machiro gave a deep bow, and then grabbed Crow and Didi by the backs of their collars, dragging them out of the room. It's a good morning, I'd say. As their screams receded into the distance, I stretched my back and deeply inhaled the fresh summer air. Then I started screwing around with my phone again, verifying the date and checking my email. Today was the first day Crow would be spending at school. And at the same time, today would also have been the day Mew fell from the rooftop. Well, I guess I'd better wash my face and get dressed now. 30 minutes later, as I waited outside the house, a trio of fine young ladies soon appeared.
朝からひどい目にあったの。まったくです。二人しておバカなことをしているせいです。
Man, you've been apart for so long, but you guys still get along thick as thieves. Gonna make your big bro look a little sad having so much fun without him like that.
兄様はそちらですね。
Machiro giggled and gracefully held out her hand for me to take. It was like she was showing off for the other two. In fact, it probably was her intention to demonstrate that she was the boss of them. Clever girl. But that was what made it cute.
相変わらずご主人様とお嬢様は仲良し小良し、清しこの夜ですね。クリスマスか。なんだか投稿も大所帯になりましたね。
And quite a lively one. For this hour in the morning, too. The kind of boisterous conversation certainly wasn't something which would happen if it were just me and Machiro walking to school together. And thinking about it, we've got quite an international-looking lineup going on here. Makes us stand out a lot.
両手でも足りない花ですね。
We got a pink disco, a sunflower, and a queen of the night, I guess.
私はさもありなん。サンフラワーは大好きです。我が輩は美人か？
Crow evidently didn't realize what flower I was insinuating she would be. It's just a nickname for a night blooming cereus. Don't overthink it.
だが悪い気分ではない。おや。兄様、行きますよ。
Machiro was clearly pouting as she pulled on my hand. All right, you're right. Oh, you're right. We should get going before the train gets too busy.
置いていくでない。
Crow trotted along behind us and grabbed the hem of my jacket once she caught up.
まるで親子のようですね。
I heard Didi's offhand comment, but I decided to just pretend I didn't. For both Didi and Crow, it was technically their first day of school, but I didn't need to give them the guidance since they already knew the way. Arriving at the station, we then boarded the monorail. Crow was staring intensely at the prepaid IC card I bought for her.
そういえば兄様、もう家でお父様やお母様にクロさんのことを隠す必要はありませんよ。
How did you manage that?
DD さんと口裏を合わせて、クロさんもイギリスからの留学生だとお伝えしておきました。
They weren't suspicious about the fact that we suddenly had an extra one?
客人が一人増えたところで、 あの屋敷の人口密度はびくともしません。
That's true. Taking care of loose ends was Machida's forte.
私はついメイドさんたちのことを知っている挨拶をしてしまってちょっと大変でした。
Oh, really? Didi would need to be put on her foreign exchange student coming to class for the first time act again. When you show up in the classroom this time, you're gonna need to act like you haven't met me or Makoto before.
ご主人様と誠さんがいるからフォローしてもらえるとはシンキングしてます。
Well, we need to look out for Crow too this time, so try not to fall back on us too much.
兄様、もしかして気づいていらっしゃらないんですか？
Realize what?
いえ、まあ別にいいですけど。
I looked at Machiro curiously, but she gave me a look that seemed like she had given up on me. Was she trying to tell me something? Then, we split up after changing our shoes at the lockers, and then just like the first time around, Didi came into the classroom.
はい、皆さんグッモーニングでおはようございます。
Naturally, Didi was in perfect form, since the curious stares from onlookers only gave her more energy.
私のネームはドロシーナ・レンポート。フレンドは DD と呼びますので、皆さんもそう呼ぶといいです。お待ちかねの転校生ですよ。
あれが噂の転校生か。マジで可愛いな。
Shuji muttered, sitting next to me and taking in the whole spectacle. Isn't that kind of cheerful girl the exact opposite of your type, though?
確かにそうだけど、なんでお前がそれを知ってるんだ？
I have my ways. As I kept talking with Shuji, more and more students gathered around Didi. This situation certainly brought back
あ
memories.
りゃ、ホームルームが始まるまで収まりそうもないな。
Just give them 3 days. They'll get used to it soon enough. The crowd around Didi was quite curious. They all wanted to know where she was from, how she got so good at Japanese, and much the same topics of casual conversation as before. By now, though, she was probably sick of answering those
転
questions.
校生は2人だって聞いたんだけどな。
When Shuji mentioned that, I remembered that he was actually right. Crow wasn't anywhere to be seen, but we'd arranged for her to be in the same class. What's going on? Couldn't imagine Didi leaving Crow behind in the teacher's lounge. Hey, Didi. Trying to catch Didi's attention from outside the crowd, she picked up on my voice amidst the commotion very quickly. Where's Crow anyway?
クロさんなら恥じらって教室に入ってこれないようですね。
Didi then turned in the direction of the hallway wearing a friendly smile.
クロさん、ご主人様が呼んでますよ。
ご主人様？
Shuji was not alone in his reaction. The rest of the class recoiled in shock. Gah. I totally forgot about that. While stewing in my frustration over not being able to react immediately, I saw Crow peeking around the corner into the classroom. Then, after anxiously scanning the classroom, she saw me and ran over to my side. And to make matters even worse, she immediately clung onto my back.
ご主人よ、我が輩を守ると約束したくせに変なところに一人にするでない。
Is she the second one? He promised to protect her. Is this the money's power? Can money really buy you love after all? The classroom exploded into a fervor of
お
activity.
い、さんずい。なんだこの我が輩キャラは。こんなのリアルに存在してたのか？
That's your light novels talking right now. I took out the pocket watch, but as usual, I had to tell Shuji off before I turned back time. Stunt again! I threw the pocket watch to the ground with all my might. Is this what Machida was talking about in the monorail?
お、何急に興奮してるんだ、サンズイ。
Shuji, sitting next to me, was surprised at my sudden outburst. Forget it. Just talking to myself here. Brushing off its confusion, I wiped away the cold sweat on the back of my neck. I had become so accustomed to being addressed as master, I'd totally forgotten how weird it must have looked to everyone around me. Not to mention, this time I had 2 people calling me that. 2! I looked around the classroom one more time. Upon rewinding time by 5 minutes, it appeared Dee Dee hadn't gotten into the classroom yet. Unlike the last time this happened, I talked to Dee Dee beforehand about the exact moment when she would make her appearance known to everyone. If I stopped those 2 in the hallway, there would be no problem.
はい、皆さんグッモーニングでおはようございます。
Too late. I was about to dash out of the room, but that plan quickly foiled. I was 5 seconds too late.
なあ、さっきから何なんだよ、お前。大丈夫か？
I'm not okay. If even Shuji was genuinely worried about me, that made it easy to figure out just how weird I must have been acting. If I tried to catch Dee Dee's attention now, I'd just end up in the same situation as before. I shook my head, trying to come up with a better plan. I could go for sushi right now. No. Stop avoiding the issue by thinking about food. I wish Chrono would just show up and smoke me away right now. If it meant I wouldn't have to deal with this humiliation. Wait. It'd be way too pathetic if I were to die over something like this. For the record, Chronos didn't appear. Goddess never failed to forsake me. All those thoughts flashed through my head in about 5 seconds. Then noticing me trying to curl into a fetal position, Dee Dee called out to me.
主人様、何してるんですか？なんだお主、どこか調子でも悪いのか？我が輩を置いていくでないぞ。
And to top it all off, Crow barged into the room as well. Of course, the room exploded with commotion. Wait! Calm down, everyone. There's a reason for this.
あ、レイ君、もうどうせだから一緒に住ませておくけど、私もレイ君好きだって宣言しておくよ。
I heard one carefree voice from the back of the classroom, and that quickly got overpowered by the uproar of hollering from everyone else around. Makoto, I thought you were on my side.
それなら私もご主人様のことはラブですよ。我が輩は違うぞ。誤解するな。
Then the voices died out, as if the excitement in the classroom had surpassed the breaking point. No, they were only quiet because they wanted to hear my excuse. I got into this situation because I obtained the pocket watch that allows me to turn back time, and then I used it to experience all the different possibilities in this world many times over. Like I could actually say that out loud. Call it passing fancy, I guess?
出来心だって。
Hey, I never thought you'd actually blab on me like that. I glared at her resentfully, but she just shrugged her shoulders indifferently. By now, third period class had ended, and we'd relocated to the first floor hallway, away from all the commotion.
だってさ、私もこれから教室でレイ君や DD さんやクロちゃんとよく話すようになるんだよ。遅かれ早かれ噂になるんだから、先に言っておく方が面倒はないじゃん。確かに。
Well, I suppose it was best to get that out of the way, but you could have at least said something to me ahead of time.
そもそも DD さんとクロちゃんのご主人様って呼び方を止め忘れてたの。レイ君、なんか変なことでしたかね。
Whoops. Well, you know, you're staying at my place on a homestay and also working there as a maid, so I'm not personally objecting to it, but...
メイドとかご主人様とか響きがエロいよね。さすが誠さん、分かってますね。ズーですね。
You knew people might read it that way, and you still called me that?
オタクなめないでいただきたいです。 ろでクロちゃんどうしたの？
Makoto pointed at Crow, who had been still silent the whole time. Seems like her brain blew a fuse because she couldn't wrap her head around the lectures.
休み時間も質問攻めで休めていませんしね。
Even with all the assorted knowledge Crow had gathered, she was still getting stressed out from having so many things thrown at her all at once. So more than all of us wanting to escape from everyone's prying, we were out here to let Crow relax a little.
このメンバーが揃って教室からいなくなったらまた噂になってるだろうな。
All we can do is grin and bear it for the next 3 days or so.
私は慣れましたよ。
Hey, ground control to Major Crow.
疲れた。
Crow sighed and leaned her weight on me.
学校辞めたい。
That was quick. I cracked a bitter sort of smile. It'll be lunchtime in an hour, so just try to hold out until then.
よくもまあ、お主らはじっと座って話を聞いているだけの勉強などできるな。
I think you have a point. It kind of stifles one's independence or something. While most of the other students probably only studied habitually, I'd always been taught from a young age that I needed to think for myself and study on my own time. It wasn't a bad thing since I knew I had to, in order to lay the foundation for my own future prospects.
まあ、詰め込みの勉強だけど、それこそ将来何が役に立つかわからないしね。経済学とか心理学とか大事だよ。
She said it in a cute way, but is she planning to be a wolf or the TSE or something?
私は日本語で勉強できるだけでもグッドです。アニメ見やすいです。
For Dee Dee, her hobby and her studies overlap.
実にどうでもよい。
Crow lazily mumbled under her breath.
分かっておる。こんなことにも耐えられず、人の世界で生活などできるわけもないしな。
You'll get used to it in no time.
そろそろ教室に戻らないと。お弁当が楽しみです。
The girls each gave their last remarks, and then we dragged Crow back to the classroom. It wasn't very long before lunch break came. Once the long break period started, even more people came to greet Dee Dee and Crow. Dee Dee naturally handled all the attention without breaking a sweat, but as for Crow, she was looking warily around her, and for some reason she was still clinging to me. It wasn't a big deal since we told everyone she struggled with Japanese a lot more than Dee Dee, but I still didn't want her using me as a shield. Hey, why don't you join Makoto and her friends for lunch?
知らない人間が多いのは苦手なのだ。
That makes another girl besides Mio with crippling social anxiety, I guess.
お主だって我が輩を守ると約束しただろう。
I can't stop people from being curious about the new transfer student, so give it a rest. Besides, Dee Dee's handling most of the attention herself, isn't she?
分かっておるが、今も我が輩は見られているし。
I guess so. Since Crow wouldn't open up to her classmates, I was worried if they'd come to dislike her. It was especially difficult to predict how the girls in the class would react, since they were so highly aware of social dynamics. But it didn't seem like people disliked Crow. I suppose you could say Crow was the yin to Dee Dee's yang. Since Crow was shy, timid, and short, a lot of people viewed her in the opposite light, like some sort of mysterious character. Like some mascot or a rare animal. Also, I didn't understand why, but for some reason, the girls were all glaring at me. Did they think I was being overprotective of Crow?
お前、本当に漫画とかラノベの主人公みたいになってるな。
Shuji, who ostensibly understood some of our circumstances, came over and spoke with me with an exasperation. Well, Dee Dee and Crow just ended up staying at my house as part of a homestay program.
それで十分だろ。
Shuji, might you be jealous of what I'm going through here?
いや、リアルだとめんどくさそうだな。可愛い子がいたって簡単に手を出せるわけでもないだろうし。
Mr. Honesty drives home another point. He actually sympathized with my situation. Is there anything you want to say to Shuji Crow?
よろしく頼むぞ
I tried to get Crow to open up to my closest friend, but she was still quite timid.
ああ、困ったことがあったら言ってくれ。サンズイがふざけたことしたら、俺が制裁してやるから。
はい。
なんだよ。
Why me exactly?
そのクロって子が、お前にしか懐いていないからだろうが、明らかにおかしいぞ。
Oh, I see. So Crow is much more in line with your purposes than DD is then?
だから、なんでお前が俺の好みをどうこう言うんだよ。
I wonder myself. I couldn't help but grin at that. I wonder what would happen if I just turned to Shuji and whispered Michiru to him.
これ自分の優位性をひけらかしてあまり周りに迷惑をかけるでない
Well, I suppose so. Crow was right to warn me. Well, anyway, Crow's a bit of a shy girl, so try to be nice to her.
言われなくてもそうするけど、あっちの DD って子の方はいいのか
Definitely. She's quite a strong-willed girl. After all, she had so much more courage than others. It was almost problematic at times. Then Crow pulled on my shirt.
ご主人
What's up?
少し空気の良いところに行きたい
Oh, what? You feel sick or something?
そうではないが息苦しい
Is it morning sickness?
誰に孕まされたのやら
お前か、サンズイ。
Screw you.
言い出したのはお主だ
Right, let's get out of here then. I stood up from my seat, thinking it was best to end this stupid conversation here. We're gonna go out for a while.
お前は戻ってこなくていいぞ。
After Shuji said goodbye in his own way, I pulled Crow along behind me like usual. I wouldn't have minded going out into the courtyard, but since I didn't want to go somewhere with a lot of people around, I ended up going to the rooftop as per routine. Wonder if Miu and Misaki are here. I hadn't seen them up here a few times, but evidently it wasn't a habitual thing for them to eat up here.
風が気持ちよいな
Upon feeling nature's breeze on her, Crow showed happiness in her voice, which she never would have been able to show in the classroom. You did good back there.
偉大なる我が輩を子供扱いするでない
I really should have taken a video of you an hour ago. She really was bad at dealing with other people.
ビデオお主はカメラなど持っておらぬだろう
Actually, I do. Smartphones nowadays are capable of recording video.
わあそんなこともできるのかはあ本当にこの一台で何でもできるのだな
Crow seemed quite impressed as she fiddled with her phone once more. Her reactions were only natural since her previous experiences had been from my grandfather's time. Hey, quit messing around and eat your food.
ん我が輩は弁当など持ってきておらんぞ
You forgot it in the classroom. If you wait here, I can grab it.
いや我が輩のことは気にするなご主人だけでも存分に食べるがよい
It's really not healthy for you to skip lunch. You're not gonna tell me you're on a diet or something, are you? I recall the two girls in the classroom would skip lunch for some other reasons. But Crow just shook her head slowly from side to side.
そこまで人間に毒されてはおらぬ単に腹が減っていないだけだ
I suppose you must have good metabolism.
朝から DD に付き合わされ無駄に食べさせられていてな
I could definitely believe that. Well, then I suppose you can eat later on. Just be careful though, lunchboxes can spoil pretty easy in this kind of heat.
分かっておる
Not convinced, I sat down on the ground and opened my lunchbox. Crow walked laps around the perimeter of the rooftop, perhaps to diffuse her stress from being in the classroom. She seemed just like a puppy dog on a walk. Careful! There's unfenced spots on this roof.
分かっておる
Well, even if you fail, I could turn back time and save you at least once. I shoveled fried food into my mouth as I spoke. I that moment, Crow came back over to me and stared at me with wide eyes.
もしかして今日も時計を使ったのか？
Just once earlier this morning.
そうか。
Crow looked up at the sky with a serious expression as if something seemed to be troubling her.
やはり今回も我が輩は気づかなかった。
Oh, so that's what's bothering you. Until now, Crow had been the only one unaffected when I turned back time. But now, Crow had become just another person for whom time had been forcibly turned back by the power. She understood what that meant, but just when she was starting to get accustomed to her new life, this came as another major shock to her.
まあ、よい。
You accepted that pretty quick.
なんだ？我が輩が相手をしてやらないと寂しいのか？
I guess that insult doesn't work on a woman. She said that she was lonely sitting at home alone, but this was how she acted when she started coming to school. It's just that Crow herself didn't realize the obvious fact that she was so much happier when she was by my side. No matter how much of a pain in the butt she could be, I couldn't deny that she was super cute. Nom nom. There was nothing else for me to say, so I just leaned over my lunchbox and shoveled food into my mouth. Crow didn't push the issue any further.
それにしても息が詰まらないのは良いが、日差しを遮るものがないと暑いの。
Crow shielded her eyes as she looked up at the bright sun. You're probably still feeling high-strung from so many new things happening, but once that wears off, the summer heat might turn you into a sloth.
夏バテとは、お主が部屋でぐうたらしていたあの状態のことか？
Alright, you saw all of that.
まあ、あんなだらしない姿は我が輩には無縁だと思うが、テレビで熱中症とかいうものを紹介していたな。体に熱をためるのは良くないのだったか。
Crow fanned her legs with her skirt. Hey, quit doing that, it's indecent. Well, I can see your panties.
お主は何を言っておるのだ？
For some reason, Crow looked terribly confused.
以前までのお主はむしろ女子の下着が見たいと力説しておったではないか。
Well, that's true, but when Crow was a ghost, I couldn't touch her anyway, and no one else would know if I saw her panties, so there hadn't been any risk of being called a molester or something before. But now, things like that could be a huge problem.
もしかして照れておるのか？
No. I was at a loss for words since I didn't know how to respond to that. I was embarrassed. Just a little embarrassed since I did want to see them, but I couldn't just come out and say, let me see them. So that reminds me, I seen Makoto naked on this rooftop before. That was pretty nice.
ほれ。
Crow hiked up her skirt with no hesitation at all, and I just about spat out my food. Since I was sitting down, they were right in front of my face. Whoa! What are you doing? Knock it off!
何をそんなに慌てておるのだ？
What are you showing me right now? Like I couldn't be surprised about that.
お主が日頃から見たいと願っていたからと、先ほど我が輩が言ったであろう？
That's not what I mean. No, never mind that. Just pull your skirt down.
見たくないのか？
I could only mumble in response to the troubled look on Crow's face. The thin spandex which clad her legs became translucent in the light of day, which clearly made not only her panties, but the gentle outlined curves of her tummy hips plainly visible. Of course I wanted to see, but how could this same thing happen to the same guy twice? Does this rooftop have some kind of weird curse pertaining to seeing girls in the state of undressing or something? How awesome is that? All joking aside, this was quite similar to what I went through with Makoto, but even if it was similar, I was a lot more excited about it this time. So much so, I had even surprised myself about it. Makoto showed a lot more skin, but a certain awkwardness and suspicion about the situation had curbed my enthusiasm. The summer sun, combined with Makoto's candid personality, had given the situation a healthy sort of eroticism. This was Crow, but the sight of Crow was dangerous. Owing to the fact that Crow was pure and innocent, and also because she was oblivious to sexual matters like a child would be, this was definitely an unclean sort of eroticism.
やはり我が輩ではダメか。喜ぶと思ったのに不思議だ。
Why does everybody ask me that? If a girl asks me whether or not I find her attractive with such a look of concern, how am I supposed to respond negatively to that?
まあ、お主が慌てたり困っている姿を目にすると、これはこれで面白いが。
You making fun of me?
いや、お主には世話になってるし、我が輩に叶えられる願いなら叶えてやりたいのだが。
Crow displayed her unconditional affection for me. My head spinning here. She's dead serious. The beautiful skin of a girl was within arm's reach of me, so close. I could easily reach out and touch her if I so desired. While insisting of touching her, I could even shove my face in there and she'd just laugh it off and be like, "That tickles." I can imagine it already. I could sense a breeze from under her skirt, which felt a bit warmer than the outside air carried with a pleasant scent. More than anything else, I was definitely screwed up in the head. Mew saved me.
どうした？
Mew on the rooftop.
なんだ？ミュウがいるのか。
Crow looked away and turned to check the surroundings. At that moment, I took out the pocket watch and smashed it on the ground with all my might. I had suddenly remembered this was the day when I used the pocket watch to save Mew. Ah! Once time had turned back, I found myself rubbing my hand in agony. I was in such a desperate rush that I just about smashed my own hand on the ground too. I might have bruised my hand for a moment, but in its 5 minutes ago state, it didn't have a scratch on it. I could only feel the lingering sensation of the pain in my fingers.
なんだ？急にどうした？
Crow, who had been walking around aimlessly, trotted over to me when she heard my voice. It's nothing. I instinctively hid my hand, even though it looked perfectly fine.
トゲでも刺さったか？この辺りに木などないが。
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Though, honestly, I feel like I'm up a bloody tree right now.
そんなつまらん冗談など思いつきもしなかったぞ。
Just seeing Crow standing around casually was making my heart race. Even with her clothes on, I could still envision her panties and the coarse curves of her body which lay just underneath those clothes. I put my lunchbox aside and stood up.
どうした？
I'm gonna go get something to drink. I couldn't remember how the conversation had veered off into that territory, so I decided it would be safer to just get out of Dodge for a bit. You must be hot too. Tell me if you'd like anything and I'll bet for it.
おごりか。それなら我が輩も一緒に行こう。
No, let me go alone.
そうか。ではお茶を頼む。あ、いや、なんとも言えぬ舌に刺激のある炭酸飲料の方がいいな。
Alright. I held up my hand to my face as I talked. I couldn't even look Crow in the eyes right now. Or maybe I just didn't want her to look me in the eyes.
おろ。
I went down the stairs and headed towards the vending machine, but on the way I ran into Makoto. Evidently she had the same intent to buy drinks as me.
レイ君どこに？どうしたの？
What do you mean?
顔が赤いよ。
So it was. I furrowed my brow. It's summer after all.
はい。
Nothing. Once again, I had to avert my gaze and get out of there. I couldn't believe how hot and bothered Crow got me. It wasn't just because she showed me her panties, though obviously that was part of it. The fact that she had become so incredibly human was quite a shock to the system. She'd caught me with my guard down. That night, Crow came to my room again, telling me she couldn't sleep. However, the reason she couldn't sleep was a little different from last
明
time.
日が楽しみで眠れぬなんてことがあるのだな。
It wasn't the same anxiety and loneliness she's felt before. She was grinning like a little kid excited for a field trip. Well, that's a sign that your day-to-day lifestyle is fulfilling. I'd say that's a good thing. That was my answer. The indecent incident at lunch didn't have any lasting effects, so I was just fighting off the urge to sleep as we sat around chatting. Though the image had definitely been seared into my mind.
今日な、お主の勧めで学校に通うようになって思ったのだ。人として生きるのも悪くないと。
You must have been thinking hard about that. That was definitely surprising to hear.
この体の不便さや授業というやつには苛立ちもするが、夏の暑さも汗も、その汗をかくことで心地よく感じる風も、この夜の静けさも好きなのだ。何よりも自由に人間と触れ合えることは我が輩にとって刺激的だ。もちろん我が輩の望みは神に戻ることではあるのだがな。
When things don't exactly go the way you expect them to, it's not all that uncommon to have more fun than you expected to as well. So, just chill out.
そうか、それならよかった。
Crow showed me a sweet smile.
ありがとう。
What for?
お主が時計の所有者で我が輩を喜ばせてくれるのだから、感謝するのは当然のことだ。
Oh. I can only give that one careless answer, which mumbled faintly under my breath. Despite the fact that nothing but sarcasm came out of her mouth before, Crow was turning into a surprisingly nice girl. Anyway, you should go to bed. Otherwise you'll be tired tonight.
もう少しこの夜を楽しみたいのだが。
I'm getting tired though.
なんだ、我が輩と話すのはつまらんか？
No, it's quite fun actually.
そうであろう？
Crow gave a pleasant smile, evidently pleased at my answer. Then she quietly gazed up at the moon. She almost seemed as she were in a trance. I understood then why Crow had become so human-like. She had gained so much wider variety of smiles than she had previously had. Hey, Crow.
どうした？
I hate to put the damper on such a good mood here, but living life as a human won't just be nothing but beer and Skittles. You'll encounter no shortage of things in the future that you would find annoying or unpleasant. I've said this to you before, but you'll probably start to feel those emotions sooner rather than later. Crow returned a blank expression. I had chosen to shoulder the responsibility of protecting Crow, so this was something I needed to tell her. For sake of example, you could say it's a bit of traveling to a foreign country. In the course of that journey, language barriers and cultural differences may cause hardships, but even those can become happy memories later down the road. However, choosing to settle down in a foreign country is an entirely different matter. Personally, I've done well at keeping good company with my friends, so you might not realize it yet, but there will eventually be people in your life who don't like you, and there will be people who you don't like. I just wanted you to know that. No, that wasn't quite right. Maybe I'm not one to say this, but even if there are some individual people that you don't like, I don't want you to hate all of humanity because of them.
お主はやはり変なやつだな。
What's that about? I'm being serious here.
わかっておるよ。忠告はありがたい。だが、そうだな。せっかくの機会だ。少しだけ我が輩のことでも話そうか。お主にこういう話をする必要はないだろうと、これまで避けていたのだが。
What is it? While I was trying to tell Crow something of importance, I suddenly felt as though she turned the tables on my conversation, which left me confused.
我が輩はもともとお主の言う人間の負の面を先に体験してきたのだ。我が輩の時計の力を最も活かせる場所はどこかわかるか？
Where?
戦場だよ。
Crow answered her own question before I could. The battlefield? That's not a word you hear very often in the course of everyday life.
人の尺度で長い時を我が輩は観察者として過ごしたが、過去時計の力が最も尊ばれたのは戦場だ。
Crow reiterated her statement to me.
時計の力があればどれだけの傷を負おうとも命さえ残していれば無傷の状態に戻れる。たとえ爆撃で体を吹き飛ばされようとも時計も同時に壊れることで死をなかったことにできる。アマツさえそういう経験を知っていることで相手に逆襲をすることさえ可能だ。つまり生きるために人が人を殺す光景と他人を殺すために力が振るわれる場所が我が輩の居場所だったのだ。そして現代においても戦場は経済に形を変えて存在している。お主の暮らす沢渡りのこの屋敷も一握りの人間には過ぎた勝利の産物だ。別の誰かが成功したかもしれない未来を潰した上で成り立っている余分な富だ。我が輩にとっての人間はそういう生臭い死と欲望の塊だったのだ。
My eyes were agape. Crow had never been one to talk about herself, so asking about her past had never occurred to me. I never even realized what manner of horrors Crow had seen. Oh... I tried to say something to follow up on everything she had told me, but I didn't even know what I could say about it all. All the time, Crow showed me a gentle smile.
そのような顔をするでない。だから我が輩はご主人に感謝しておるという話なのだぞ。そんな我が輩の力をお主は恋愛だの女子との繁殖だの他人のためだのとつまらないことにしか使わなかった。もちろん時代や環境に恵まれているというのはあるだろう。だがそんなつまらないことが我が輩にも面白かった。そして今やその面白さに自分で触れることができる。人を嫌いにはならんよ。好きになってしまったことは我が輩にとって予想外だったかもしれないがな。それだけだ。
Crow ended the conversation there, just as if she had closed the cover on a book she'd finished reading. I see. Those two words were all I needed to say in response. Crow understood humans. For her, happiness was simply living day to day without seeing such horrors. She understood just how precious that was, and in all honesty, since I was lucky enough to have been born in modern-day Japan, that kind of ordinary happiness was something I took completely for granted. But there was no helping that.
随分と長話をしてしまったな。
Crow yawned out loud. You enjoyed conversing so much, then I wouldn't mind staying up a bit longer.
さっきとお互いに言ってることが逆になっているぞ。
You're right. Well, maybe I should turn in too. I yawned too, as if it were contagious. Yeah, it was time to sleep. Until tomorrow. When I'd be able to see all the different varieties of smiles of Crow, I entertained once more. Oh man. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when she said the battlefield, a lot of things came to my mind. I wasn't expecting that at all.
そろそろ本格的な夏ですね。
I was not expecting that at all. That pause wasn't because I was just like daydreaming or something. It caught me off guard too. I was like immediately started thinking about a lot of things that I've seen that have to do with war. I can only imagine. If you were a god and you were at the beck and whim of a human who held a watch or a device such as here, and you had to witness all that, what would you think? How would that change you? Anyway, thanks for watching up till now. The story's really interesting now. Stay tuned tomorrow. There will be another video at the same time. I'm actually recording these in advance, and I'm scheduling their publish date.